We got Cortney Casey back here on the program. He's going to be back in action on November 13th. She's going to be taking on Liana Jojua. Cortney, how's it going?
Everything's going good.
Good to hear. That's always a positive. First off, let's start right off the top here. Some, sort of big news that's happened with you recently. You're back at the MMA Lab. How good is it to be back there? I know you and Jakkar both sort of made amends and have sort of gone back there, and that's now your main training camp.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be back. Happy to have all the group of guys and stuff like that, and the coaching and the new coaching staff and things like that. So it's just good to be in that kind of environment. You can only hold yourself accountable so much. So it's nice to have the team and everyone making sure that you're in there, and not just during your camp, but during their camps as well.
And just from a personal standpoint, how good is it to see, Crouch and Jakkar, back together? Because I know Jakkar, even, prior to everything, talked about sort of him being a father figure to him. And it just seems like that. I'm sure that just makes everything easier, when it comes to training there.
No, it definitely does. I don't think they've said I love you to each other so much in my entire life. There's been I love yous and hugs and long hugs. It's just, it's nice to see. It's nice to see.
Oh, look, we got the Kingston cameo, man. That's awesome. Getting to your fight, it seemed like you got plenty of notice for this one. Did you get a full camp for this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I had 2 camps for her.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We were supposed to fight back in August, and she had some visa issues. So, yeah, I mean, 2 camps. So, yes, you may have one.
There you go. Yeah, no, obviously that's always nice as opposed to like a short notice matchup. Style wise, how do you look at this fight? She's got an 8-4 record. How do you feel like you match up against her here?
I think I match up with her pretty good. She's a little bit, I mean, she's shorter, but she's definitely bigger. You know what I mean? She can spot at 35, and she's come down to 25. I think this is like her 3rd fight at 25 now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's had some tough opponents. She's durable, she didn't want to quit in that fight with Miranda Maverick, even though her nose was all busted up. So, I know she's gonna come forward and she can take a punishment. She's pretty much good everywhere. I think she has like a little bit of a judo background, jiu-jitsu background, and then she's like does Muay Thai as well. But yeah, I feel like I say it every time. I feel like I can get, stylistically, it's a good matchup because she does like to stand. And she does also like to do jiu-jitsu on the ground. So hopefully, whether we're standing or we're on the ground, it's going to be an exciting fight.
You talked about being at the lab. Who have been some of the main training partners leading into this fight?
Oh man, I've had Mario Batista has been a huge training partner for me. And then I got Marcus McGee and and another kid, Jawan. So I've had some height, some good height guys for me. Bigger, 6'6", walking around like 65. So, I definitely had that kind of pressure. And then obviously with Mario's technique and his skill, I think I'm well prepared for this. And then of course, all the guys over at Jiu-Jitsu, over at Tim Welch's gym and Taquino Mendez's gym. It's been good.
Does the confidence get a little bit higher just having a little bit more variety in your camp? Being able to utilize the lab and again have all those resources that you have there. Does it feel different in this camp?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely feels different to have more bodies for sure. Different looks. I'm still going over to Golden Era Muay Thai and getting that look in as well. So, I'm just happy to have the training partners. And that's more so, the biggest change from the last couple camps. Like I've had training partners, but they were, either strictly jiu-jitsu guys or strictly Muay Thai guys. Obviously with the lab, they're going to be well-rounded and I'm getting those good MMA rounds in. So, I'm excited.
I know obviously you can't work Jakkar because he's still recovering from injuries. How's he doing, by the way? Because I know I talked to him, it was like a month ago, and I know he's sort of going through the process of recovery. How's he holding up? Because I know it's tough to be on the sidelines.
He's holding up good. He's holding up good. He's in good spirits. Again, we're just, everything happens for a reason. We're just kind of keeping that mindset and staying positive through everything. It's tough, when you lose those paychecks and then you sign a fight and then you start training and then next thing you know, you're injured again and you're out for, gosh, who knows now. Hopefully we can get him back in March. But it does get frustrating, but, I think with me being in camp and him having to stay focused and be positive, I think that really helps as well.
You mentioned having the 2 camps. How's the weight cut? Because I know at least it's not 115, but still, like, I know, having to sort of, keep that mindset of keeping the weight down. How's all that going ahead of this fight?
It's been a little challenging, with having a whole camp. I think the fight got canceled that Thursday before fight week.
Yeah.
So, and then we were kind of told, well, we don't know when she'll get her visa, so we might just put you in a short notice fight, or, we might rebook you. So you kind of got to stay in camp just in case she does get her visa. It could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, could be a month, and then we'll try to fit you on a card. So luckily, I can't say luckily, but I'm lucky that I got the same opponent, but there was that kind of gray area where we didn't know, like, do we take time off? Do we, like, how much time? Because we didn't know. So we took 2 weeks off. Our plan was to take 2 weeks off just to recover and get the body back to normal, like, because we were already peaked. So we got to start over and not to have too long of a camp. So we took the 2 weeks off, and then we slowly started back into camp. And then we found out, hey, it's going to be in November. So at least it wasn't a long time where we had no idea, where we were trying to stay low and stay ready. So it's been challenging, but I think in the long run, it's going to pay off when it does come weight cut time.
What's your corner situation looking like going into this fight with, being back at the lab? Does that change, or is it going to be the same corner?
It was going to be the same. Unfortunately, Alan had tested positive a couple weeks back for COVID. So we were able to switch some things out. So all we did is we added Casey Kenny back in, because
Nice.
I was going to take David Mashad. So it was going to be David Mashad, Jakkar, and Alan. And then, with Alan testing positive, we were able to put Casey Kenny back in there, which he's been a huge impact in my camp as far as still being there for practices. He's out with an injury as well. So I have 2 injured guys in my corner, but they've been doing a lot of film studying, and they've been at practice, and they've been really good corners. And then obviously Mashad with all of his experience and, him just growing as a coaching aspect, since he's, he has his injury as well. Well, his career ending injury, I guess you could say. But yeah, so it's good. It's good to have those guys. And especially, because Mashad's can't fight, Dre can't fight, and Casey can't fight. So they got all the, all these energies of positive, coming into it. So I think it's going to be a really good corner.
How's this fight playing out on November 13th?
Yeah, I got to get it done within the 3 rounds. It doesn't seem to go my way when it goes to the judges. But either way, we're going to go in there and put a stamp on this fight. Hopefully, even if it does go to the judges, it's going to be like, there's no way that she's winning. We're going to try to win every little moment that we possibly can, and really push the pace and solidify a win, whether it's in the 3 rounds or, fingers crossed, if it goes to judges, we can get that one too.
Can't remember if I asked you this in the last interview, but how many more fights do you have in your contract? Do you know?
I have 1.
Gotcha. So kind of a lot on the line here in this fight, I'm sure, because obviously you get a win, you got a lot of leverage.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope you would hope you have some leverage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got one more. We're shooting to get a good finish and a good win at the end of the day, so that we have some leverage, and we can hopefully earn our way to getting another contract.
And I know this is something we brought up before, but I always have to bring it up because, like, obviously I know this, last fight sort of impacts a lot of other things, including I know you and Jakkar have talked about extending your family a bit. I know is that something you've talked about recently, or I guess you'll just sort of see how this fight goes and then kind of reassess?
Yeah, we tried, and then it was just one of those things, like, it was like, all right, look, like, his fight canceled, all everything, and then we're just, all right, we're just not going to plan right now. If it happens, it happens. Let's focus on, obviously my career right now, and then getting him healthy, and we'll just see how it goes. Because obviously us saying, hey, after this fight hasn't been working, so we're just gonna leave it up in the air, and we'll see how it goes.
And on that same note, how's it been coaching soccer? That was one cool thing that Jakkar mentioned, and I also see it on Instagram as well, because I know that's sort of your first love. You started as a soccer player, now Kingston's doing it. Are you enjoying the soccer side of things, being able to coach?
I do enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. I was pretty hands-on at the first start of it. And then obviously, as camp got, a little more into detail, and I was a little bit more tired and stuff like that, it was just making sure I was there for the games and helping out with the kids for the games. Practices are pretty easy. They're playing like red light, green light, and things like that. So, but yeah, it's awesome to see him out there, and just how much he enjoys it. Like, I don't think he's ever really said that he doesn't want to go to practice or go to a game. And we've had some like 8 o'clock. They're 3-year-olds, and they're having like 8 o'clock games. And
really, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, 8:30. We missed one game last week because it was an 8 o'clock game and I couldn't even get him up. Like as soon as I tried to wake him up, he was still talking about dinosaurs and stuff in his sleep. And I was like, I'm not forcing this kid to wake up that early. So yeah, that was the only game that we missed. But yeah, he enjoys it. He really does.
That's a couple crazy things. First off, I try to sign, my kid can't even do soccer at his age. So he does like the sports sampler, which you can play soccer, and they have like basketball and a few like other things as well. But 8 o'clock at night, like ours was at 6, and even that was like kind of cutting into dinner time. So I don't know how the other kids do it. That's crazy.
In the morning. It's 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, in the morning. Oh, I thought you meant at night. Oh, I see what you mean in the morning. Gotcha. Okay.
Like that means I have to wake him up at like 6:45. You know what I mean? So he kind of is. By time it's game time, feed him. Like if not, it was a mess. Like we had an 8:30 game and all the parents were already complaining. And our game was supposed to be at 7:30 in the morning, and they moved it to 8. And still, I was like, "How are they doing this to these poor kids?"
Yeah, that's nuts. When you started coaching at the beginning, did any other parents know you were a UFC fighter at all?
No, I'm not someone. I'm pretty humble.
Yeah.
I'm just a normal person. But I think his mom had mentioned to one of the parents because I wasn't at practice, and she was like, "Oh, like she's in training camp." And then at a game, she came up to me and she's like, "At first, I thought I could take you, but now that I know that you're a fighter, I'm going to keep my distance." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
There you go. Awesome. Cortney, thanks so much for doing this. Always appreciate the time. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
Social media, Cast Iron Casey. My sponsors, 8 Man Strong, Zebra Mats, X Endurance. Gosh.
They're all on your social media, though. You're always posting it there. That's the easy one.
Yeah, everyone's in my social media. Of course, Jakkar and my family and all my training partners and everyone over at the lab.